Welcome to Framework. This is John, one of the hosts of Framework, and with me as always the other host of Framework, Al. Good afternoon.
Hello, John. I'm fighting off a little bit of a cold here, so my mental faculties are a little dulled, perhaps.
Precisely. Yes.
Is that a good sign for today? What am I in for?
That's an important part of this. You see, Al, in your weakened emotional and physical state, you are perfect to be subjected to the ultimate nerd test, recalibrations.
Oh, no.
Yes.
This is the same test I put you to a while back?
Precisely. 2 years ago. Now, regular listeners of the program are well aware that we are funded by the deep state, and ultimately this is a psychological operation meant to, confuse and befuddle the minds of Americans and, anyone else listening to us across the globe. Let's not be, exclusionary there. And it needs to be reset periodically to make sure our levels are correct, I'm told. So, today, we're going to push you through this, the ultimate nerd test, Mark II. Are you ready, Al?
Okay. These are updated. The questionnaire form is updated then. It's not the same ones that I posed to you?
Entirely different. We have those calibrations. These are new calibrations.
Oh, yeah, you were the subject then. Like you could pose the same questions to me. I'm sure I wouldn't remember them, which questions they were. But
the only reason I remember them is because I just listened to this old episode to remind myself what it was. Okay, so now I have all new ones that you've never heard before. You have no idea what's going to happen here, what we're going to discuss today, what levels we're going to set. All right, so we're going to start this out with a rank order that you have to arrange. These four actresses, please put these four actresses in rank order. Margot Kidder, Kate Bosworth, Amy Adams, and Rachel Brosnahan.
Okay, so I'm not just solely ranking them on their Lois Lane work. Ranking them overall.
You have heard all the information I have for you.
Okay, number one, Amy Adams. She's kind of the total package. You can throw her on a short list of greatest actresses ever. She's got range, and she is real easy to look at to boot. Then I'm going to go Rachel Brosnahan. She has not had as many shots as Amy Adams to keep up with her, but I think she's got potential. I mean, she's kind of a victim of the streaming age in that. From what I've seen, she gave an incredible powerhouse performance on Miss Maisel, which I watched one season of and then kind of fell off in the second season. And I think it ran for like 5 more or something ridiculous. Like that's that you get locked into these streaming series for years on end. And I think ultimately that is one of those shows that struggles to find other elements that can stand up to the lead performance. Like perhaps a Dexter in a generation before it or something.
Okay.
But she's fantastic, Lois Lane. I've never seen her be bad in anything. Also pretty easy to look at. Then I guess Margot Kidder, who's somebody that I don't really have any relationship to outside of the 2 Superman movies where she's Lois Lane, but she's pretty fun in those. And then Kate Bosworth, who I have no relationship to. I don't think I've ever seen a movie she stars in all the way through.
And never caught Blue Crush?
Well, I remember
Blue Crush,
but I think that's just because I was, still had a foot in adolescence when that trailer was out. And so I was considering watching it, but I don't think I ever pulled the trigger.
Well, I mean,
I think it was in the queue right behind the other like scuba diving bikini movie where it was like the trailer was like, we will put this camera into Jessica Alba's lower digestive tract.
Was it The Deep? I think that was.
It was something kind of simple. I want to say Josh Brolin was the bad guy.
It certainly was. Yeah, Paul Walker.
Yeah, right? Paul Walker. No, Deep Blue. No,
Deep Blue.
Blue Crush.
Blue Crush is the girl surfing me with Kate Bosworth.
It was.
Okay. Whoa.
Like Hollywood had not caught up with the fact there was the internet era, and just putting an attractive actress in a bikini was like, we had the internet. We could see boobies anytime we wanted. And that was no longer enough to like fully sell a movie.
Yeah. Well, okay. Your Lois Lane rankings are objectively correct.
Okay.
Well done. Well done. Okay. Han Solo or Indiana Jones?
I guess here's the thing. I'm more of a Star Wars guy than an Indiana Jones guy.
Sure.
But Indiana Jones is the series of Indiana Jones. And Han Solo is but one of the 31 flavors that make Star Wars what it is. So I guess I'm going. Okay, got to answer Indiana Jones. I think this is helped by the fact that I skipped out on the second geriatric retread legacy sequel of Indiana Jones, because that's the thing where I was like, he only brought Han Solo back once and to embarrass himself in my eyes.
Okay. But you're still you're still choosing Indiana Jones then, because you have avoided the evidence of. Okay, right.
I avoid the evidence, and the Indiana Jones as a broader franchise has not been sort of beaten down as far as Star Wars has in the last 15 years.
Well, it's interesting the context you put this in. I mean, the scope is sort of limited in how bad Indy can be, I guess, as long as Harrison Ford is still playing the role. Like, you can't do too many projects with it then, ultimately, because it is just this one guy.
Yeah. I guess maybe here's another argument for it, though. Maybe I'm switching back to Han Solo now, because they did do a Han Solo prequel, which I thought was a very bad idea, but didn't really mind the final product of. And it didn't, they haven't done as much retroactive damage to that character. But going back to trying to get more blood from that stone can damage a broader franchise. It can spill out the pollution into a broader ecosystem than Indiana Jones can really only hurt himself, because there's not much else to the franchise that is there to be polluted.
But would you say, I don't know, I've always thought that what was nice about Indiana Jones is that each episode is isolated. It's not an ongoing saga. It is episodic in every way. So any individual part can just be extracted and the whole is not affected.
Yeah, I guess that helps. Well, it's another way that it helps to keep the contagion contained. However, the reason why I'm more of a Star Wars person than Indiana Jones person is because when Star Wars is good, it does have that broader saga thing going on, and I like the interconnectedness of it. And like, we're at a nadir of, ongoing cinematic universe storytelling at the moment. But I mean, Star Wars original trilogy still is good in that regard. So I guess what was the original question? Indiana Jones or Han Solo? I think I'm going to give it to Indiana Jones. Overall.
I would as well, but I think for different reasons.
Yes.
Okay. Dwayne Johnson or Vin Diesel?
Dwayne Johnson. No, yeah.
Okay. It's gotten harder recently, I think.
I'm not sure who you'd have to name to make me pick Vin Diesel over him, but I've just never understood the appeal.
I am with you on this, but Dwayne Johnson has sullied himself in many ways. He has lowered the bar on what I can expect from a Dwayne Johnson. I did not see his Oscar play this year, which I heard he was good in, but projects like Black Adam, Jungle Cruise, things like this, they're lowering my expectations and hopes every time, and he's made many of them now. Like
sure, but the bar for Vin Diesel has never been raised off the ground for me. I've never thought he was good at anything. I know, and if I was a Fast and Furious guy, he's essential to that, making that work in some way. I have only ever seen the first Fast and Furious, and I did not think, oh man, I need more of this guy.
Yeah, I don't quite buy it myself. I've never quite understood how we got ourselves into this position with that guy. I guess he's good in a room. People seem to like him very much.
You can give me nothing but The Rock hosting Saturday Night Live, and I'll take that over all of Vin Diesel's career.
Yeah, he makes the pedophile robot. It's good stuff. You're right.
That's a great one. He did. I think he was the first or maybe the second iteration of the Gemma, the British girl that always has a different sort of meathead boyfriend, and he's he's great in that iteration of that.
He even does a decent Mr. Peepers sketch.
Oh yeah, that's way back when. I mean, that was like he was still in wrestling mainly.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Did Vin ever host SNL? I bet it was.
It
not
seems
great.
strange that he didn't, but I can't remember it.
I feel like I would remember that if he did.
There would be at least one like memorably terrible sketch to come out.
Yeah, they'd put him in a costume like the Elon Musk Wario thing. There'd be something like that. Uh-huh.
There would be people would tell stories on podcasts of like the Dungeons and Dragons themed sketch that he made them do that nobody else believed it.
They should have Vin Diesel host SNL. Even though
that still can, that's still available.
All right, very good. Seinfeld or Curb?
Oh, I guess Seinfeld. Although, I mean, Curb's now run longer than Seinfeld ever did.
Yeah, but it wasn't making 25 episodes a year.
True. Ultimately, I think George Costanza, as played by Jason Alexander, is a better expression of a Larry David character than Larry David playing Larry David.
Interesting. I mean, I would say that he's definitely the high point of Seinfeld, Jason Alexander as George. Like, he's the best part of a good show. So I understand that.
I mean, I think you could make, if you're forcing me to make a greatest TV characters of all time list, like he's in contention for number one.
Yeah, it really is a phenomenal performance, and it really carries, I think, Seinfeld into eternity. Like, I think that it'll always be a classic show, largely because of George. And everyone's great. I even like Jason or Jerry, but yeah, George is the sort of extraordinary one there. But
if you're doing like funniest Seinfeld characters overall, it's like George number one.
Yeah,
below him, both of his parents.
Okay.
And then below that is Elaine, and then you get down into the everybody else. that's my rankings.
His parents are great. Yeah, I mean, as a chronicler,
and Elaine are right below them, I'd say, but yeah,
of a sort of end of the 20th century sort of American loser. It really is unparalleled. Yeah, Curb is about a very rich man who complains about shit. So I guess just sort of.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, George is always kind of weird, in 20th century sitcom terms, always just sort of weirdly comfortable no matter how. But Larry David on Curb is, explicitly uber rich, and like, so it all the stuff. I mean, pettiness is obviously a huge part of the George thing too, but there's a scrabbling element to George's conniving, whereas it's just sort of idle sociopathy for Larry David on Curb.
He's an underdog. He always will be. Yeah. And yeah, Larry David is really funny though. I really like Curb. I think Curb is probably the more consistent of the shows.
Yeah.
I think. I mean,
I
don't know.
A lot of my favorite Curb stuff is like
early on.
Sketches that depend on a guest character to sort of.
It's more that than yeah. Like, I guess it does kind of have that. There's a slight extras or quality to it where it's kind of just like who are they going to get in? My favorite one of all time is the Colby Donaldson from Survivor.
I may not have seen that one. I haven't seen like every single episode of Curb.
You got to check this.
over 20 years.
It's one of the guys who was like an early guy on Survivor, getting into a fight with a Holocaust survivor.
Oh yeah, okay, yes, that does ring a bell now. I don't know my Survivor, I guess, characters either.
Classic Curb. Okay, so your answer is Seinfeld.
Yes,
very good. Let me get that in here. Okay, Peter Weller or Michael Biehn?
Michael Biehn. I think I just have more of a relationship to his seminal '80s works than I do to RoboCop.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
RoboCop, I mean, fantastic. It's a perfect movie, and I guess a perfect performance. But he is so buried in there, and it's so satirical and comedic that it didn't ever, hit me in the guts the way that Aliens and Terminator did when watching them as a too young child.
That's the thing. You have multiple defining roles for Bean, I suppose. We've got all
Johnny Ringo,
his
even.
camera work, and Johnny Ringo. Weller, it's only RoboCop unless you were a Buckaroo Banzai guy.
Which I didn't see Buckaroo Banzai until I was like 25. And, I wish I had seen it earlier, but
Right.
I didn't.
Okay. I mean, it's interesting. I think Weller's been more consistently working, in the new century, but even still, it's mostly things like Sons of Anarchy, I suppose. So it's not always things you see. Yeah.
I want the record to show that I was not the one who brought up Sons of Anarchy on this episode.
Oh, it's coming up again. I'll find a way.
Okay. Okay.
The Godfather or Goodfellas?
Oh, Goodfellas, I guess. Although I should, expose myself by saying these are two classic movies that I completely just saw in piecemeal over the course of a decade. That I saw middle scenes of them 5 times before I ever saw the openings.
Goodfellas is better suited to watching that way, I think.
Goodfellas worked. I don't know if I've ever sat down and watched Goodfellas start to finish anymore. It doesn't feel like I need to. And say Godfather feels, it's an epic sweep that you're supposed to take in all as a panorama. Whereas, Goodfellas is a little bit more, it's episodic, I suppose.
Would you say that I think Goodfellas is, by acclamation at this point, the choice here? I think most people would say Goodfellas over Godfather now.
I mean, just demographically, as the baby boomers die off, that is going to be the case.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. But even the kids who weren't there, even we were a little young.
Yeah, but
we didn't see these in theaters. But
no, we were closer to that than we were to Godfather.
Right. But even still, they're movies that we had to discover at some point or in some way. Are kids even discovering? They must be. I mean, The Godfather is. I mean, they're both really watchable. I don't think there's a hint of age on either of them, but they're. I don't know.
Oh well, I think Godfather. You take a look at one still from Godfather, and it does look like it's from a different era.
Yeah,
I think Goodfellas presents a little more. I mean, at the time, it was probably derided for being, it's MTV addled music video style editing and whatever, which is partly the cocaine of the characters and producers possibly. But I think that does Goodfellas probably more easily choppable and TikTokable in term. It probably gets scenes of that fed to me in reel form more than Godfather scenes.
Do you think The Sopranos sort of bolsters its reputation and it's sort of its ability to be embraced by an audience, or do you think it sort of maybe minimizes it in a way because it is established as sort of I don't know, it has a different energy than actual Sopranos when you watch it. So
no, but I do think The Sopranos was a way into Goodfellas for some people that realized that there was kind of a movie version of this before there was the TV version of it.
Right.
It's almost like the reverse of finding out that there was a Police Squad TV show before there was a Naked Gun movie.
Right.
That's where they got all this stuff.
Very good. Okay.
It's also odd that the Sopranos has such a weird relationship to the it'd be different relationships with Godfather and Goodfellas because Godfather very much exists within the reality of Sopranos as something that the characters discuss amongst themselves and have their own relationship with that mythology. They can't really acknowledge the existence of Goodfellas in the same way because when they're taking actors from Goodfellas and putting them how different characters is. Part of it brings us too many questions about Dr. Melfi's identity.
Right. I mean, those characters would all watch Goodfellas and talk about it. That is an interesting thing. I never thought of that. That's funny. Okay, cool. Good to know. All right, let's follow that up with another similar question here, which is Close Encounters of the Third Kind or E.T.?
E.T.
Oh, okay.
E.T. was one of the very first VHSs I ever had. Probably if somebody had like the surveillance footage of me for my entire life, you could probably run the numbers and be the movie I've seen the most because I just watched it daily as a kid for a long time. I remember the first time when I was in like first grade, probably in Catholic school, and I it was the first time I had to give up something for Lent. The very first thing I ever gave up was watching E.T. on VHS.
Fantastic. That's great nerd stuff. Okay.
That's good data for the
It's perfect for our
the
levels.
psyop. Yeah.
Yes, that's interesting. Okay, I don't know. I think as an adult now, I'm almost like more drawn to Close Encounters, but yeah, I mean, I don't know that if it hit you when you were a kid, that was one of those movies that could do that. And
Well, we're at an age where the fantasy of abandoning our family is more resonant than having a stuffed animal come to life and be our best friend.
Laugh a little too hard at that. Okay. All right. Well, let's move up a decade. Twin Peaks or The X-Files?
Twin Peaks. I missed the X-Files boat.
Okay.
Tried to
Simple
get
enough.
on by seeing the first X-Files movie in theaters and was just still pretty much completely lost.
Kind of a hard way to do it. That's a tough road into entry now, I think. I say that like Twin Peaks. No, Twin Peaks is immediately grabbing and interesting.
Yes.
The only rough spout of Twin Peaks is the second half of the second season.
Entry into Twin Peaks is not the hard part. That's the really easy part. It's that there's no exit. It's just it's a sort of house of leaves thing that you just keep going down and down and down, and you keep expecting the next revelation to make things make sense, and it never does. In a great way, wonderful way.
X-Files was a huge one for me in the 90s and aughts, I suppose. It continued on. It was a very, very big deal. They were the first shows that were released on DVD in a way that you could just, kind of pick up the DVD and binge that. It was every time a new one came out, I'd go pick it up from Costco and just knock it out again. I was big on X-Files, and I think Twin Peaks is probably the better achievement and certainly the more consistent show. But I don't know. I got a soft spot in my heart for all of Twin Peaks or all of X-Files, and it's really, I know the way I would watch it now would be just the good ones, which is like a third of the show, and that I think would maintain my love for it. If you're going at it and watching all the bad ones, then then you're in trouble. But I think everyone knows to do that now. Let's skip around on X-Files.
I know to do it, but I am not wired genetically to actually execute that plan.
Of course,
I have to see all every step along the way.
I say that like I'm not the exact same way. I would not be able to just skip around, even though I know intellectually that that all of this plot line comes to nothing. It is disappointing and a mistake to follow it.
No, but it's like the principle of New Year's resolutions or whatever. We're trying to speak this behavior into existence. But I know what else is. I know I should do this, so I'm going to just say that I'm going to do it and hope that I fool myself.
All right, Dracula or Frankenstein?
Dracula. Yeah. If we were sticking to like maybe the original texts, I might say Frankenstein is the better book than Dracula, but my experience with these things is mainly on screen, and Dracula is more versatile, and there's no on-screen Frankenstein that's anywhere near as fun as the Coppola Dracula with Gary Oldman and Keanu and everybody in the 90s.
That's true. Mm-hmm. I think I'm trying to remember which of them is more adapted, and I think it's Dracula. I think he's one of the most adapted characters in the history of cinema, I believe.
Yeah, gotta be.
Uh-huh. But
you can kind of like move him around more than you can Frankenstein. He can be, I guess both Frankenstein and Dracula are going to be on the Monster Squad.
Certainly.
But Dracula can also appear on one episode of Buffy as himself, whereas they're going to do a riff on a Frankenstein idea a couple of times, but it's not going to be actually Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, I guess that is correct. But there's a lot of riffs on Dracula. Do the Nosferatu films count? They're plainly doing Dracula.
They are, for my calculations. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But as a cultural figure, Dracula, you think?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's see here. David Lynch or Werner Herzog explicitly as a performer?
Okay. I will give the edge to David Lynch as a performer, but Werner Herzog as a, if you're including imitations of him as a character for other people to play, few things in this world are as delightful as Paul F. Tompkins doing Werner Herzog on a podcast or a live show. It's wonderful.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You think Gordon Cole pushes Lynch over the top there?
Yeah, and his,
because Lynch is very impersonatable as well. By the way,
he is in his mannerisms more than his demeanor. I mean, what's fun about Herzog as an imitation is it's not, you get to do kind of a funny voice with it, but also you get to adopt this entire like worldview that he represents of just bottomless pessimism and German. There's like a little bit. He's like a guest on Sprockets to a degree, and I'm not sure what SNL sketch you put your David Lynch impersonation into as easily.
I suppose so.
It's like weather reports were fun too and stuff.
Yeah. There's something like Stephen King. Anyone, if you hear Stephen King talk, it sounds like a David Lynch impersonation to me, and vice versa a little bit. So I kind of have a theory that if you do a David Lynch impersonation, you are simultaneously doing a Stephen King impersonation. It kind of got that sort of nasal, high-pitched voice to them.
A little bit. There's just not a lot of juice in doing a Stephen King impersonation.
Okay, there's not.
That's the problem. Like not like there is with Herzog. That's a nice juicy pomegranate to bite into.
Very good. Okay. Pirates of the Caribbean versus The Haunted Mansion.
I guess I got to go Pirates of the Caribbean because I've never seen the Haunted Mansion movie.
Well, no, this is not about the movies. It says here explicitly.
It says it's the ride.
It's about the rides.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hardly remember either. Well, maybe I did the Haunted Mansion when I took the kids to Disneyland a couple of years ago.
You didn't take the kids on Haunted Mansion. Come on. Oh, they're little.
I remember.
Very little, I guess.
Okay. Well, no, I didn't. 'Cause I did take, my daughter was like 1 and change, and she got I thought she was going to stay at the hotel all day, but she came and did all day. She was playing with her mom. I was taking her big brother around all day, but I took her on one thing. No, it wasn't Haunted Mansion. Sorry, it was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Oh, the one where you end up in hell? Yeah.
Yeah, basically. I had my 1-year-old daughter next to me, and I'm like holding her tight. It's gonna be okay. And then by the end of it, I'm like, hold me, please. This is
so
really
great.
disconcerting. It's just like day glow, like things are jumping out and shrieking at us.
There is no version of Wind in the Willows that ends with anyone going to hell except the Disneyland ride. It's very, very fun. So the answer to that question, of course, is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Very good.
Yes, that's obviously.
All right. To that point, then, the Toy Story franchise or the Shrek franchise?
Oof. Toy Story, although I've never seen any entries in either past the first one.
Oh, okay. Even still. So you're just going off the first for either, and it's Toy Story.
Well, Shrek's got a big cultural footprint that
He
is
does.
obnoxious. And by all accounts, Toy Story's got 3 more entries that are all very good to varying degrees. Wasn't Toy Story 3 like nominated for Best Picture?
Yes, it was. It's really good.
In any case, Toy Story 1 is better than Shrek 1. And Shrek 1 is inarguably the highlight of the franchise, or I've never heard anyone say otherwise. So
I don't know. I think there 2 has its defenders. I think. I'm not sure. It's a movie I saw once. But I don't know. They're all enormously popular, at least. Okay. What's your preferred MAGA celebrity? Kelsey Grammer or John Voight?
Oh, Kelsey Grammer is a much, Sideshow Bob. But
Yeah.
Who's John Voight to me? He's Derek Zoolander's dad.
He's in Heat.
That's true. He's Nate for me. I'll give. Yeah.
I mean, he made a ton of great films in the 90s. Some in the aughts. Howard Cosell. But no, Kelsey
Howard
Grammer.
Cosell, there you go.
Bob.
Yeah. Yeah, but yes, Sideshow Bob is that buys a lot of grace. And I'm not a huge Frasier guy, but I have seen enough scattered bits of Frasier and Cheers to be like, yes, he is what he's on. I get it.
He is a more benign MAGA, too, I must say.
Yes.
He's not aggressive and mean about it. He's just sort of silly, which is, if he's actually MAGA, that seems like a big lie. But at the same time,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think he also can't. I always he was an older school of conservative,
right, right.
before the MAGA thing came. He wasn't a convert at that point.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Voight was like a sort of a liberal firebrand in the 70s.
Yeah. So, but I think Voight was one of the ones who, not necessarily MAGA, but 9/11, broke his brain, and
that happened.
Never looked back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sad. Okay. Resident Evil or Silent Hill?
Resident Evil, I guess, but I don't really have a frame reference here. I've seen the Resident Evil movie, and I probably played like an hour of a Resident Evil game, and I have no Silent Hill in my diet.
Okay, so just zero cultural footprint for Silent Hill at all then for you.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. We'll move on from that one.
But the Resident Evil movie wasn't bad. I do have kind of a weird 90s kid soft spot for Mila Jovovich.
Oh, yeah.
It's not, I can't really, not so much defensible on screen, but I want to give her a chance.
All right, we need to now get a rank order of the performances in the film L.A. Confidential.
Mm.
And I'm going to
It's been a while since I've seen this one, so
okay.
I'll try.
Okay, you've got Guy Pearce. You got Russell Crowe. You got Kevin Spacey. You have Kim Basinger, Oscar-winning performance. You have James Cromwell. And you got Danny DeVito. I'll spare you the rest of them, all the Strathairns and such.
You're not even going to make me do Spacey?
Spacey's in there. Spacey's one of them.
Oh, here's okay. That's tough because none of those are bad by any stretch.
They're all great.
I mean, I think you got to go with Crow at the top.
Interesting.
Because it's the biggest role in terms of volume. It's the showiest role, but he's also perfect in it. Then I guess I go with it's gonna be a toss up between Pierce and Basinger.
Mm-hmm.
I'll defer to the Academy and give Basinger second. But I think Pierce is a really underrated actor, and that LA Confidential is probably like Exhibit A for that. He's
great. Yeah.
The nature of the role is such that it's going to be overshadowed by the louder Crow performance. But I mean, Cromwell, that's a perfect performance. It's not as central of a role. I mean, it's very important. I don't know, man. All right, so I go then Cromwell, then Spacey, then DeVito, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever play L.A. Noire, the video game?
No.
It's basically a dialogue simulator, but it is entirely in the milieu of L.A. Confidential. So much so that they just bring the James Cromwell character into it. There's a guy just straight up impersonating that role, that performance. He has the same. He's the chief of police. He's doing the same shit. And he's just an old Irish cop. That's great.
You should be like. I think you can get away with that one. It would be hilarious if they tried to do the same with DeVito. If they pretend that they were like using his likeness, but having somebody do it DeVito would be great.
He's great in that movie too. Is the thing. Like they're all extraordinary in that.
Yeah.
All right, you are a Midwest kid, so hopefully you're going to have context for this. Joel or Mike?
Joel.
The right choice.
I think.
The right choice.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, the more Midwestern choice, I feel like. He's got the very... Joel is very droll and unassuming. Mike has a bit of smarminess to him, which, it works fine in that milieu. But there's something great about how sort of not suited for television Joel was.
That's true. I thought that was the show on all cylinders too. The early run, Once we get into, I don't know, the Pearl years, I'm just sort of like, this might have run its course.
Yeah, I think by the time you make the Pearl switch, you like we know that our peak is behind us at this point.
Right. Okay. That was about it. Mystery Science Theater for anyone who was confused.
Yeah, I think the only thing that makes it a race is that Mike got to be in the movie, which is the Mystery Science Theater I've seen the most.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would say that, yeah, Mike has sort of the weight of time on. He did it like maybe twice as long, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right? I don't know. It was a longer run for certain. And he's coming back now. as a 75-year-old man or whatever it is. I don't know what that's going to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Leno probably hosted longer than Carson too, but that doesn't it's still the Carson show.
Yeah. Okay. Gremlins 1 or Gremlins 2?
Gremlins 1.
Yeah.
But Gremlins 2 is an amazing artifact, a sort of one of one type of sequel of just like, there's a very good reason they don't make them like this anymore, and never really did before either.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people would choose Gremlins 2 because it is the outrageous thing. I think it killed the franchise, man.
Well, and I think it's also we're at a stage where I'm like, it's actually okay that did not become a franchise. It's fine, and I do. Yes, okay. Gremlins 2 has had a better life on the internet for some
right.
Like with the dynamics we were talking about before. It is so it's clippable, it's memeable in a way that 1 is more of an actual, like a real movie, almost. Gremlins 1.
It's kind of scary, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It scared me as a kid.
Very much. It's a real movie. Gremlins 2, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it would be offended if you called it a real movie.
Yes.
Okay.
It would send Hulk Hogan out to give me a wedgie. Mm-hmm. But if we're talking about paperback novelizations.
Oh, well, I did read the Gremlins 2 novelization,
sir. Which I recall as having, I don't know if it may have been cut on the cutting room floor of a recent episode. But once again, I'll reiterate, as a kid, I read the Gremlins 2 paperback novelization several times before realizing that it was not a real movie that it was not meant to be taken seriously. I just thought, okay, I haven't seen no movies yet, so I guess this is what they're like.
All right. Let's see here. Got my numbers, doing my maths. Okay. Paul Giamatti or Brendan Gleeson?
Oh, that's not fair. I guess Brendan Gleeson. Paul Giamatti, it is unfair probably, but feels to me like he's been kind of semi-retired for a decade now. But maybe because I didn't see the holdovers or whatever. Yeah. Gleeson feels like he's been just working consistently since, I met him in the Scottish Highlands in 1996.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
He's just been a part of my movie-going diet from Braveheart to 28 Days Later to Gangs of New York to all the way through the Banshees of Inisherin.
So he's wonderful in that. Yeah. I think that was his first Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very, very good. The Departed. Oh, he's
fantastic.
Oh, no, wait, that's Ray Winstone. What am I talking about?
Ray Winstone, yes.
Yeah, I transposed Brendan Gleeson's face over on Winstone's body. That'll happen occasionally.
Mm-hmm. He's kind of doing Brendan Gleeson in it.
He definitely is. Gleeson also, Saturday Night Live host fairly recently.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, not the greatest episode or anything, but it's kind of nice when you're like, oh, I would not have guessed that person would be one of their hosts, and he did fine.
I mean, it's you think that you want them to have weird people on, You're always hoping that somebody's going to have that walk-in kind of thing, like Willem Dafoe, or I was like so excited when he was hosting, and it was just like, wow, he's trying a little hard. He doesn't seem so comfortable,
Yeah.
Or Bryan Cranston. There's people who seem like natural oddball fits, and it's just like not really. Gleeson kind of did pretty good though, I think.
Every once in a while, like the John Malkovich is a surprisingly good episode,
right. Mm-hmm. That doesn't surprise me. He seems well suited to be on that. Yeah.
But not that you can easily slot him into Mr. Peeper's sketches and stuff. I guess you're being a fine scientist in the Mr. Peeper sketch. Chris Parnell's not available.
Sure he would, yes. or like the father of a teenage girl, and he's just weird. I think that's a funny role for John Malkovich. He could do easy stuff, and I don't know. You would say this about Dafoe, though. How come Dafoe wasn't good on SNL?
I maybe even a little too excited for the opportunity. He's I don't know.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, yes, Brendan Gleeson over Giamatti. I think Gleason's movies and performances tend to be more purely enjoyable. Whereas Giamatti, controversial opinion, he can be kind of a difficult presence.
I enjoy Giamatti just about all the time.
Me too.
I'm really. I want to watch his new Star Trek show because he plays an alien on it. He's got the whole stupid getup. I think he's a pirate. I mean, that sounds fun, right? He's going to be amusing there. I got to see
a pirate alien. You say?
I believe Giamatti plays an alien pirate in the new Star Trek. Yes.
I mean, if you can speak it into existence, that's.
He's worked. He's been in stuff. He was in Black Mirror recently. He's in Holdovers, of course, Oscar nominee. What was that show where he's working on TV mostly? That's what it was. He got stuck in that long running Showtime show.
Oh, Billions, right?
Yeah, Billions. That's what it was. That's where he went. Okay. Well, points off for Billions. Brendan Gleeson here too. Okay. All right. Kevin Costner in a baseball movie versus Kevin Costner in a Western.
I mean, Kevin Costner's going to be better in a baseball movie.
I agree.
I would rather watch a Western than a baseball movie as a rule, though. So I'll probably go with the Western. But
interesting.
But yes, Kevin Costner's best performances are probably. I mean, it's like Bull Durham and Tin Cup. I think
he's excellent in Field of Dreams, which counts as baseball.
That's one too that I don't know if I ever.
Yeah.
I think I saw it all piecemeal on TV over when I was a kid. I've never, but
it's pretty good.
But I think Bull Durham and Tin Cup are both great movies.
Mm-hmm. Tin Cup, of course, is
and I know Tin Cup is not a baseball movie, but it's an unofficial sequel to Bull Durham.
Sure. I mean, I guess I could have said sports movies, Costner sports movies or Costner westerns, because those are kind of all he really does, right? I mean, there's other stuff that doesn't really land or work. But
Robin Hood is how I grew up with him on, because that was one of my VHSs as well.
I mean, that's a very entertaining movie when you're 12. But
yep.
And there's things to like about it, of course, but he's really bad. He's really awful in it.
Oh, yes.
But he is good playing baseball movies or sports movies, I suppose. And I think my gut instinct on that would have been westerns, but you look at him.
Well, that's because my gut instinct was that I was picking the movies themselves. But the more I think about it, the more I think Bull Durham is the best Kevin Costner movie and performance.
Right. I'm not a big Dances with Wolves guy. I think his best western is Open Range, actually, which is great.
Probably. But I need to revisit that. It's been 15 years on that too.
It's a good moment. Robert Duvall, excellent performance.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Getting down. I mostly have my numbers in order here. I've mostly got this figured out. Okay. The Venture Brothers or The Critic?
I think The Venture Brothers.
Interesting.
Although it's also one where I never finished it. Like got a couple seasons in, and then its erratic schedule got the better of me.
I don't think they ever finished it. Honestly, I think there's maybe they did, but I'm not entirely sure because it got moved around so much.
Yeah, I think The Critic just lives a little too much in the Simpsons shadow. And The Venture Brothers is one of the things that kind of casts a shadow over the rest of the Adult Swim block.
Indeed. Yeah. Okay. All right. Last question here, and it's important. Okay, you got to pick one movie. The other is erased from existence. Schindler's List or Home Alone.
I mean, I guess I have to be like a responsible custodian of the space-time continuum and say that we erase Home Alone in the hopes that erasing Home Alone 2 also like does more to keep Donald Trump's star faded in the 90s and he doesn't make it onto The Apprentice.
I was thinking you were going to say just because it's an important Holocaust film, but you're right. That is
you got to think about Holocaust past and future.
Damn. Jeez. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This does raise questions for me that I hadn't considered. But no, I think you're right. Mm-hmm. Good point. Okay.
There are other Holocaust movies. I mean, what are the other Home Alone movies? What is the pianist to Home Alone Schindler's List? Is it Three Ninjas?
Okay, well, what if the pianist or Three Ninjas? One's got to go.
Oh, who's the greater cultural villain now? Roman Polanski or Rob Schneider? No, Rob Schneider was Surf Ninjas.
He was. He might well have been in Three Ninjas, and I wouldn't remember. But he definitely was in Surf Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas would not have existed if Three Ninjas had not been the modest success that it was. So.
Well, removing Surf Ninjas from the time continuity, I don't think changes anything. I think that's a safe thing to do. You can step on that mosquito, and nothing will change.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. If you wanted to try and like do a movie related thing to try and save Rob Schneider's brain from being MAGA pickled the way it is now, I think you have to go back to Judge Dredd and prevent him from taking that incredible header down the stairs that you could see in the behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, him and Stallone hanging out on the set might have had an equal amount of that, right? I mean.
Oh, I think it was traumatic brain injury on that. I don't know if you've seen the clip of him falling down the stairs. It's like the lady crushing grapes header that you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe that person's still alive immediately afterwards. And I think that's where the corner turned there. CT.
All right, sir. I believe we have completed our task here. I have all my calibrations set, and we're good to go now for this, and we can come back to this another time if we need to, of course. Any final thoughts on our results here?
I mean, I don't know. Do I get an official report card of any kind? Or
of course, right. Let me put the numbers through. Beep bop boop. Okay. Okay, you've scored an A5. 236, which puts you in the same bracket as. Oh, this is very interesting. Bruce Campbell.
Oh, not bad.
Meryl Streep.
All right.
And Fatty Arbuckle.
Fatty Arbuckle. Oh, okay. You know what? That tracks, I think.
All right.
He and I are on a similar schedule of.
Oh, how grim. Okay.
Fans going.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you for listening and contributing to your government's awareness and understanding of your habits. Thank you very much. All right. We'll be back more with the regular things we do talk about, Terry Gilliam, video games, what have you, and in the near future. Thank you for listening.